We manufacture and design equipment for responding to multiple casualty incidents, especially rescue services and their personnel who will actually be first on scene. Now the equipment's very good, but unless you actually equip the people with the right training to understand that equipment and understand the background behind the concepts of multiple casualty care, it will always be of reasonably limited use. So our aim is to make sure whoever gets our equipment also gets the correct training. So when they do turn up to the scene of a large incident where there are multiple casualties, then they're going to have the best skills, the best equipment positioned in the right place that will ultimately help them produce maximum survivors. The first component we look at is making sure that the individual that we're training actually understands the concepts of multiple casualty incident response. And one of the things we've got to stress here is that it's often very different to what they do 90% of the time in the jobs in standard emergency medical services work. There's a different way of responding to multiple casualties as there is to responding to one injured person. What we wanted to do was try and find a medium that could reach everybody within the organisation in a very simple method, and the internet allows us to do this, and the technology that the internet now has allows us to do this to very high quality as well. So very simply, if we can put a high quality internet program in place, we can reach absolutely every responder within the services that we're working with. We can then do the train the trainer program, which will complement that system as well, and together we can give the organisation the right skills to, as we say, go back to producing maximising survivors when they start to use our equipment.
The brief for the DNET online training was to take the training that's delivered in the traditional method and bring it online in a coherent way which maintains the clarity, the quality of the education, and the experience that people get actually doing it in person in a train the trainer program, for example. What we needed to do was obviously maintain the educational clarity, so we broke it into two distinct sections, which were the training section where people are given the information. They're also given an opportunity to interact with the system, so they're being taxed as well to actually do something, and a test section which we're then able to bring people to a multiple casualty incident and allow them to apply what they've learned from the training section using the methodologies and the things that we've trained them in the previous section.
When we look at a new medium like the internet, by no means should we actually detract from the quality of what we're actually doing. We've still got to achieve the same quality, we're just trying to use a different medium to allow that to happen. So we've got to still make sure that the quality of the education is good. We've got to make sure that the medium we use it works for all the population we're working for. You know, there's some ambulance personnel, there's some rescue personnel who don't use computers a lot, so we've got to make sure they can actually function and not be scared off by it. We've got to make sure we don't bore people, because if you're bored you don't learn. We've got to entertain them in a proper way that's actually conducive to good learning, and then we've got to take them through a fair but also a testing assessment process. So at the end of it, again, we should get them coming out with confidence, but we can also prove to the organisation through a good testing process that they're also competent in the skills as well. We put all that together, and I think you've got a very powerful tool.
One of the other challenges was the brief dictated that we needed to make a system, although very powerful and very flexible, would be able to work on a 2 megabyte bandwidth. And that's quite small for what we wanted to do. It's obviously transferring a lot of data back and forward, it's allowing the interactivity to happen, it's allowing the system to react to what the person's actually doing, the user's doing. This is asking a lot of a system. To do it on 2 meg is asking quite a great deal. We overcame this very well, but we were watching the dial all the time, and if it went over 2 meg, we would have to sort of pull back or tweak and compact it a bit more. Working on the project's been fantastic. We've really pushed the bounds of what we do here and taken it to a whole new level in bringing it online. Working with Colin and Simon has been great. They bring a lot of passion to what they do. They're very passionate about the delivery of the training and what it's there to do, which is ultimately save as many people as possible from a multiple casualty incident. That's been the mantra at all points. Every time we've brought something back to them, the first question is asked is, does that maintain that, does that do that? And I think we've definitely hit it on the head, and it does, so it's been great fun.
We're proud of our training. We think we get the right skills over. We bring people into our classes who are very insecure about how they respond to multiple casualty events, and we send them out very confident, and that's a great thing to achieve.